So some of the things we learned today, normally the local law enforcement guys are allowed to sit in the Secret Service. So they had two battlefield, as we called them in the Army, tactical operations, basically the control areas, the control room where the leadership sits and monitors the actions. And the local guys and state guys had their own, and then the Secret Service had their own. And normally they put a person from the locals in the Secret Service area. Today the locals shared with us that they were not allowed to have anybody in there. So that makes you want to dig a little further, right?
We actually were the first group to go up on the rooftop where the suspect was to see what view he had of the president. There is a tree obstructing, but there's also wide open purview between the second counter snipers and the suspect. We have a lot of questions. Were requests made for additional agents given the Iranian threat? How about, the outside the perimeter? Were communications made with local law enforcement? All these things could answer a lot of vital questions, but one thing's for sure, it's way too close. Being up on that rooftop and looking at where the president was relative to the roof is so close for a sniper. And then final question is, why in the world wasn't anyone up on that water tower?
We've learned since the shooting occurred that President Trump's security detail repeatedly requested additional resources which were denied. Those lack of resources required Secret Service to depend more heavily on local law enforcement. And we know that the Secret Service failed to secure a strategic location with a direct line of sight to where the president was speaking. In light of these failures, I joined many other members of Congress in calling for the resignation of Director Cheatham.
I was on the roof that the director said it was really dangerous for Secret Service and other personnel to be on. I'm 70 years old. There's nothing unsafe about that roof, and so, I'm going to be calling for her resignation too. To actually come up with an excuse like that, she should do better than that. So.
Communication, I learned today, was not as good as it should be. It's got to change. Go ahead.
And that was absolutely what we heard from the sheriff as well as the local chief of police, is that while there was communication, it was not sustained and as robust as it needed to have been. And the gaps obviously showed because of what occurred.
I think there's a lot of issues here that probably strongly suggested we never should have had the event here to start with. That doesn't excuse the failures of the Secret Service that day. I think we definitely want to make sure we investigate those and get to the bottom of what happened that day.